more we sound.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Best wedding I went to, though, was the bride was first generation Cuban, and the groom, I think, was 10th generation Princeton. And they were so totally divided. His whole family just really stiff, and her family was just going crazy on the dance floor. There was no mingling of the family.
So which side did you go on?
I knew them both.
By George, I don't think I know what they're doing there.
It was hysterical.
So the stuff on the rings, those are brand new
Okay.
set of everything that's
Perfect.
up to date.
I have to try to sort through my files.
No, you can do what you want with your piles.
Anytime, John. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. All 5 selectmen are here. Can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Amendments to the agenda. I think we're okay because I think we got them all printed. Public comment? Seeing none. Consent agenda.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. I'd like to move that we go into assessor's session.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. So we have a request for abatement. Our assessor's agent is recommending that we grant an abatement on map 9, lot 17E. Basically, they were assessed for a two bathroom home when they only has one. And the amount to be abated would be $76.59.
I move we grant the abatement for map 9, lot 17E, the amount $76.59.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. I move that we go out of assessor's session.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Yes. Next up, discussion on ACO, Animal Control Officer. And I see you've got a sheet here.
Right, in looking at the numbers that Ruth pulled from the MMA salary survey, the number that we've been paying Lisbon seems to be quite high, and I would like to propose that we post the position.
Okay.
Yeah, so exactly. For us to hit that April 15th we talked about, we got to get at least a month in there, MMA, to get someone, and it gives us only like one meeting after that to really get the people in here.
Did Sabatis reply? I did, because it would be interesting to see what they pay too, because they also contract with Lisbon.
I mean, so we have
Many
to
people
post it,
just-
right? But you said you had somebody that was
How much
interested.
population?
Absolutely,
we still
but we
have
have to
to
post it to
I
give
don't
everybody.
know what their
He'll be right in there for the.
Take-
But so we'd have to, if we can get a job description by next meeting and we can post it, because we really need to, if we're going to do it, if we can find anybody that will do it for the right price, we need to make the decision by the middle of April. In some ways, it doesn't make sense to actually hire until July, because we'll be paying through July for Lisbon services. But we need to know that we can do that.
He's gonna take the position.
That somebody would be available to take the position.
Do we have an old job description
I
that we
there
could
sh-
tweak, or
there
are we
should be
starting fresh?
there should be one, but it may not. I don't know how good it would be.
We just want to make sure it
I
covers all
would-
the bases.
If we can't find one here, I'd suggest looking to Pownell or other smaller towns that would be doing something similar to what we're looking to do.
Because we're looking, well, and then that gets to the question, looking at least that salary survey, that there are a couple different routes that we can go, is we can do a monthly stipend. It looks like some of them are paid hourly based on response time. So that's the other decision we would have to make is.
For budgeting purposes, monthly stipend's much easier
Absolutely.
because you can't.
That's the way Powell does it.
It's one of those. It's sort of like the fire department where you don't know how many calls they're going to get in a particular and how long each call would be.
Oh, absolutely. I just was saying that it looked like
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that range that
The
different
person
towns
that's
approach it
interested,
different.
that's how he's getting paid through Pownell, so monthly. That's what he gets.
So, yeah, if we can get some.
Sabatis did not answer,
Did not answer. Okay.
because they're 4,800.
Okay, so, yeah, if we can get a job description put together and, have it brought to the next meeting, that should give us enough time to put it out for almost a month and then do interviews.
Awesome.
All right, budget. So, we have the, what we've done so far in the workshops, it's all here. There is one thing that we overlooked going back to look at, and that was putting in money for the War Memorial Park and flags. And I believe you said that we could do that without affecting the taxes because it would be an appropriation rather than raising, like out of.
Yeah, we have money left in the recreation fund if we can use that for the appropriation, yeah.
And did we ever get the report from the Eagle Scout that was looking into all of that?
We don't have a report.
Or the
I have talked to him. He came in about a week ago. He was not ready to come to this meeting, I don't believe.
No.
So there are some of, from what I understood, there could be a fundraising component on his part too, because I believe he's doing it for his Boy Scout work, but I believe he does want to come to the selectmen at some point to discuss it with us. But if we're going to do it this year, we need to make sure we have some money available.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm not really sure how much it's going to take.
I did a little bit of research, and unfortunately, the prices seem to range from $100 to $1,500 for a flagpole, and I'm not really sure what the difference is.
Probably quality.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I would expect we'd want at least mid-range, if not better. And we've got, how many are we supposed to have?
My
5?
recollection is that the chief has done
He has.
some research on this as well.
Was he planning on being here tonight, do you know?
Not that I know of, but I haven't really heard from him today.
I think he is.
You think he's-
Okay, so. I was wondering if we put 3,000 towards it. Even if it doesn't do everything this year, it would be a step in the right direction. And if there's fundraising on the Boy Scout side as well, maybe.
Right.
Do we have that much in the recreation?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Do you want 3,000 in addition to the 500, or?
Yes, because the 500's for little odd things that you might need to do, I think.
I know it's lighting down there, something about the lights too.
Oh, that's right, yeah, how the lighting on the pole goes.
No, I agree with that.
That's at the gazebo?
Yeah,
And we've got the funds in the recreation
yeah.
fund anyway.
So it won't, the amount that we'll have to raise for taxes will not change.
I think if we're gonna do it, we should take the time and do it correctly and, or not do it at all.
You're right. Yep.
Sure.
And I mean, if it ends up being a 2-year project, then it's a 2-year project. I hope that we can get some idea of numbers before the actual budget committee, before we actually meet with the budget committee. But
Get the money put in there that Paul was talking about last night.
Yep,
that was
it's in planning.
planning and.
It's got its own line on the bottom.
Oh, okay, there, all right, yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yep.
Is that one right underneath planning, board appeals, roads, is that the one that's punched out?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we write that in.
That's what I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
Yes. So, other than that change, do you want to go down and recommend each item, or do you want to take this as a block? And recommend the items as they're written as a block?
Like the whole page.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quicker.
So the change would be under Parks and Recreation, we would add 3,000 to Parks and Recreation and add 3,000 under appropriate as well. So I'll take a motion.
On just the recreation piece?
I think we're gonna do it as a whole, right?
Oh,
So 3,000 added to Parks and Recreation and 3,000 where else?
Under the appropriate line next to Parks and Recreation, because we're appropriating the funds rather than raising them.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha, yeah, okay.
10, 5, 5, 5, 5, right?
Okay. I would move that we accept the budget overview as amended.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. So this is what we're sending to the Budget Committee.
yeah, I'm not thrilled that it's a 5.5% increase, but, you know, I do think that we have put a tremendous amount of time in to try to figure out where we can cut. And I don't have any brilliant solutions for cutting it, but
For quite a few years, we've tried to cut it back enough to try to make up for what it's gonna cost on the other side, and can't do it forever.
I was curious, did we take into account the, other plowing contract for the parking lots?
Up there I do. That's the, so I have snow, which is the big one, and then I
Yeah.
have plowing lots, which is the other, so.
Yep, $4,000.
And Sean, that's at the back of the roads thing that I gave you.
And
Yes, yeah.
discussing earlier with Ruth, we put the 18,000 in for workers' comp last year, and I was looking, we didn't even spend 18,000 total, so that was what my guesstimation of what it was gonna cost us, or what it would have cost us, but we spent a total of like 12,000 or something like that, so most of that's probably from fire department and the town office, so I was gonna have her just remove that line from there, even though, just because it doesn't pass the sniff test, even though I think that's what we probably would have paid at some point with, if we had had a full year of the public works and things like that, but we didn't end up spending that much, and that would raise more questions than I would try to answer.
the other question that I had goes more to my faulty memory probably than anything else, is what did we decide to do about the mowing? Are we putting that back out to contract? Are we gonna look at purchasing a mower? What did we actually make a decision on?
We didn't actually,
On the mowing.
we didn't actually decide.
Did we leave money in the budget to put it out to contract?
I think we left this.
We left everything
I
the
think we
same.
left it
Okay.
the same, so,
Okay.
I
Could
mean,
we take that money and put it out to bid if you guys decided to?
because it's in each of the separate lines, yes. What we couldn't do is we couldn't take that money and, I don't think we could take that money and apply it to the Public Works Department if we decided to keep it in-house.
Well, in the public works budget, there is a part-timer
So-
figured in during the summer for 15 hours a week, so that might cover.
So you, for
Could use it
the
to
actual, for the
buy the mower.
labor, yes, but for buying a mower or something like that,
Right.
it would be a stretch to say that we could, we'll put 3,000 here because we had a mowing line here and stuff like that. It would have to be absorbed by the Public Works budget, and, roughly, 10,000, something like, whatever one would cost, would have to be absorbed in that budget for that year. And then, you would notice that, hey, we didn't spend anything in these other lines, at the end of the year, but you couldn't just draw from over here and say, well, we'll take it from here. And
I think it's definitely a good thing to look at for next year. I think we should go the contract this year, next year, definitely have Public Works pick it up and start doing it.
I just want to make sure that we were all on the same page as far as where we were going and that we had accounted for
Yeah.
whatever that is. in
And
the
if
budget.
we get the, if we get the road commissioner on in time, early enough in the spring, that could be a decision left up to that, whether we go and research and get something, or whether we say, let's punt it for a year.
Yep.
Okay, anything more on budgets? Anything from the town administrator,
You got
road
it.
commissioner?
I didn't send out a written report, obviously, but I just kind of want to give an overview of where we're at thus far this winter.
Short timer.
I want to give as much information as I can to you, Josh, in the next couple of weeks. We discussed this a little bit yesterday, but we did have one of the trucks hit a telephone pole on Stackpole Road yesterday. No damage to the truck, no injuries or anything, it was the wing. We probably will be seeing a bill from CMP or Fairpoint Roads.
Is that the same driver that backed into the car?
No.
All right, so it's different drivers,
Yep.
all taking turns now?
Yeah, everybody's taking turns. It's been a long winter. All in all, I gotta say that the crew's been doing a phenomenal job. Last couple weeks, most of the guys have worked in excess of 100 hours. There's only 168 hours in a week.
Yeah,
So
they're probably ready for some sleep, yeah.
they are. For the winter so far, we've had 29 treatable events with 86 inches of snow. Compared to last year at this time, we had 25 events with 53 inches of snow, so we're well ahead of where we were last year. And last year was actually considered a pretty active winter for us. We've already exceeded last year's snowfall total. Last year we were at 84, I think was for the season, 83 or 84. And we're about 6 inches from topping the total snowfall for the past 5 years for a season. So it's been, even though it started out with not a lot of snowfall, we did have the ice events, and we've caught up and surpassed on snowfall. I crunched some numbers today, and all materials, all of our fuel, all compensation, all utilities for both facilities, and all equipment maintenance, which some of those items aren't all directly related to plowing. We spent $195,872 for part of November, December, and January. I broke that down to dollars per mile that we spent, and it ends up being about $27.98. So we're really looking good as far as the department and where the numbers are falling. We're actually, that's a little bit lower. It's going to be higher when we get to the end of the year. We'll be up probably the 3,500 per mile range. But we're on track with where other departments are and where we're hoping to be at this point this year. So I just kind of want to run that over with you folks and see if there's any questions, and that's it.
Any questions?
Why did CMP leave the telephone pole sticking out in the middle of the road? I know that's not your answer.
No, I've actually
I
gone.
looked at that and go, really?
I've
Could've
gone
just shoved it
around.
back up against the trees?
I've gone around with them on some different things in the past where the poles are so close to the road.
That one is, they are all.
I've got several in Pownell that same situation.
I thought, why don't they put it back 3 or 4 feet? It's
Yeah.
like 16 inches off the road.
Yeah, but you know, it's
What
one of
they
those
do.
things. We gave them permission to put them there, and they're there. So it is what it is.
But maybe they have to have the guys run up there and kind of slide that back off. Maybe.
Yeah,
It's not really sticking out into the road,
Right.
but it's sticking out so the, if somebody should go off the road there,
Yeah,
that
bad
might
scene.
not look good coming through the windshield. I'm really surprised they just didn't, kind of, it shocks me, because all those splinter parts are sticking out towards the road.
yeah. We'll take care of that.
I don't know, gotta babysit them all the time.
Any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Tell the guys that we,
We'll do.
at least I give them a thumbs up.
We'll do.
Thank you.
I assume.
He gets to do it again on Thursday, apparently.
Yeah.
Actually, that was.
Let him
I know.
let him get some sleep in the meantime.
I mean, you still have to go out, but I
Yeah.
think it's
And
like 2
I
inches
saw-
or something.
Keep here.
Yeah, I saw him
I
come in.
hope.
I think it's in the back room.
I'll go, while we're waiting for him to come in here, I'll go down through the selectmen's comments. We've got upcoming meetings here at the town office. Tuesday, February 24th at 6:30 PM. Tuesday, March 10th at 6:30 PM. Yeah, this is, we also are going, there will be a, meeting next Tuesday at 6 here at the town office with, a portion of the Pownell Selectmen, a portion of the Durham Selectmen to look at the job descriptions and the contracts with Pownell and so on in preparation for putting out a road commissioner advertisement. Nomination papers are available at the town office for one Selectman Assessor's position, a 3-year term, and one RSU 5 Board of Directors, 3-year term, and 3 Budget Committee, 3-year terms. The filing deadline will be Tuesday, February 17th at the close of business, which is 4:30 PM. We're actually up to you, Chief, if you've got a report.
Yep.
They booked through it tonight.
We're not all gonna be here next Tuesday.
It's, who are the 3? You,
Yep.
myself.
I said I'd be willing to if you needed me.
If you can't make it, just let me know. I mean,
Okay.
Oh, yes, of course.
I'm
Do I get one?
Two of us.
I mean, anyone can attend, but we were looking at doing the subcommittee, so not everybody had to attend if
Right.
they didn't.
Is
Jeff,
it
that
2 or 3
meeting
of
on the
this?
17th is a workshop or a meeting?
It is a workshop.
NIMS.
Yeah,
It's a NIM.
Can we run up to Livermore Falls right away?
National Incident Management System. You must have it.
National Incident Management System.
Yeah, there was a class scheduled to be, it was a daytime class up to Androscoggin County EMA that's been canceled. There's one going on tonight in Livermore Falls, but, if I have to, we'll work something out so we get one closer to this area for those of you that need it. I do think they'll probably schedule another daytime one for the county commissioners, but I actually think their last meeting may have been, or workshop was canceled because of weather, so. I should have a schedule for you at some point in time. Hopefully we'll find one that works. So even if I end up forwarding you the notice, I wouldn't necessarily recommend driving to Livermore Falls to try to get it done.
Sounds like you're more looking to find out where all these homes that you're missing are located.
Sounds all like what?
You're looking to find out where all these homes that you're missing are located.
Yeah, the
Ones you can't
next
see
one,
'cause of the snowbanks.
the next bullet, I wanted to give you guys a heads up, because we actually had they're on a call right now, and they had a very hard time finding the place. While you're driving through, take a look, mailboxes are missing, they're buried in the snowbank, and probably of the homes that are actually marked in the first place, probably 75 to 80% anyways, are marked on the mailbox, and that's it. We're having a hard time finding street numbers. And then once we do figure out street numbers, a lot of the driveways with the amount of snow on the ground, with most of them, it's getting cozy on, if it's cozy on personal vehicles, it's gonna be really cozy on trying to get one of the trucks in there or the rescue. We've actually had a couple.
5 years ago.
Even the rescue is pretty cozy trying to get in there, so.
Yeah. Maybe it was longer than that, but there was a thing put out about homes in Durham. They had to make sure the numbers were a certain height, and they were put on the corner of the house somewhere so that they could be legible.
Yeah, well,
High
it's-
enough, not just on the mailbox, but there.
Yeah, the addressing ordinance actually covers the numbering for homes. There's supposed to be 4-inch numbers even if they're on your
Oh, wow.
mailbox.
That ordinance isn't being paid attention.
If you look at most of them are not 4-inch numbers on the mailbox. But the bottom line is, there's supposed to be 4-inch numbers on the mailbox. If you, or on the home. If your home's not visible, then they're definitely supposed to be on the mailbox.
Right.
If it's at the beginning of the driveway, or it's supposed to be on a post. The addressing ordinance actually covers it. They're pretty poorly marked as it is, but they're really sad shape right
Yeah,
now.
I bet
So
they are.
you know, the downside is I know it's difficult and tough on everybody, but you never know when an emergency is going to happen, and it could make a drastic difference in the outcome
Oh, yeah.
of the safety of people's families and stuff, just for the effort of cleaning up at least that number so we can see it. Worst case scenario, if we can see the number, worst case scenario, we can set up at the edge of the road, even with the exclusion of some of the longer driveways and stuff.
So what you're trying to say is, folks, clean out your
Yeah, big time.
mailboxes.
Well, actually, there's a lot of stuff that goes with the weather, you know, and some of them aren't even here. But, you know, if you look at the doors of homes, a lot of people they use the side door on a regular basis. You look at their front door or their back door, well, those are all means of egress if something
Yeah.
does go wrong. A lot of them are becoming so that you couldn't open them if you wanted to. That should be clean. Vents, I think it was Wyndham. We've had a couple of CO calls that have been the real deal because of plugged vents and stuff. Wyndham, I think, actually just sent 6 from an apartment house to the hospital for CO because of plugged vents. So I know it's tough work, but really, people need to take care of the stuff. It's for the safety of themselves and their family. And I didn't even touch on the snow load on the roofs of houses.
Well, the only good thing about that is it's really light, but if we get
Till
any
it
wet
rains
stuff.
or gets warm.
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's gonna get heavy, yeah.
Yeah. 4 feet of snow is gonna condense to 2 feet of good wet snow when
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
said and done.
For
so.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I wanted to let you guys know, because we are gonna have situations where we're gonna drive by, I'm sure of it. The one tonight, they had a very difficult time finding, and we actually, during the blizzard that's mentioned here, we were getting we had a couple of calls and we'd have to get out of the vehicle, clean the mailbox off, so we could figure out what the house numbers were and stuff.
Maybe that should be on the website.
Yeah, maybe we can have
Maybe
John
that should be
put a
put
thing
on the
on that
website.
says,
Or the announcement
Safety.
on the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so really it's for people's safety and, you know,
well,
especially, it's one thing to jeopardize your own safety, but if you've got family there, wife, kids, or parents or something like that, it's a completely different thing to say,
Well, I-
jeopardize their safety.
I like to shovel mine. Well, my wife does, she shovels a lot. She gets nervous about shoveling out the back door, but like I said, I don't really care. I wanna get out if there's a problem. I'm not worried about who's trying to get in. We'll take care of that when time comes.
Even if it's not a big time path, even if it's just enough so you can get out of the residence and stuff like that, could make the difference.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
2015 SAFER grant, the application period opened up the first part of the week for that. We actually came very close. We didn't get a notification that we weren't going to be funded last year until the finish line when they sent out all the Dear John notices. So that means we scored good enough so that they wouldn't run out of money before they got to us, that we could have been funded. We were probably above the 80 percentile with our score and stuff. So I think if I review the grant and maybe try to strengthen it a little, that maybe we can score better. Ours was based on, SAFER grant is funding for staffing, or in our case of volunteer departments, it's for recruitment and retention. And our grant actually focused on part-time staffing to address recruitment and retention. So I'm gonna try to put it back in, hopefully by your next meeting, I'll have a draft of the narrative statement for you guys to read. I talked about going down for the peer review on the Fire Act grant, and one thing I learned from that is that probably one of the biggest things is that people should have their narratives read 100 times over. And if they can find people that don't support what they're doing, those are even better ones, because some of the narratives were not very strong at all. So hopefully I'll have that done, and I would appreciate you. Hopefully I'll have it done so you can review it ahead of time and give me some serious input on and questions on it and stuff. So Shape, the Department of Labor, they reported this a while back, the Department of Labor was out, they did a final inspection, everything was all squared around and stuff. So we've gotten our letter and we've gotten our tag for the plaque's been updated. So we're good with our Shape award until November of 2016 is when we'll be up for renewal, so.
Shape stands for,
Pardon me?
SHAPE stands for,
I'm not sure exactly what the acronym stands
Oh,
for, but it
man.
basically means all of our safety stuff is up to snuff.
it's not, I picked up on that part.
Above and beyond, but I'm really not sure what
That'll be your next
you'd
lesson.
think fire and rescue service, I'd be up to date on my acronyms, huh? That's all we use.
Well, you can figure that out.
I know what the next one means if you
Yeah.
ask. Our EHP, and Environmental and Historical Protection application, has to be approved federally for the Homeland Security grant, and I finally got the approval notice for it and stuff, so that is approved. It's to put 40 feet more on our tower at the station. And basically, I included the way the funding was broken down in it and stuff, just so I could refresh your memories in regard to it. Was the total package was $18,425. It 10,106 was coming through. It actually comes through Maine Emergency Management Agency when it's all said and done, but it's federal funds. And then locally, what we had approved was 8318 to come out of the grant match account. So, guys are still good with all that. I'll start working with the radio company and try to get us a schedule for middle to the end of spring once the ground firms up out there and stuff. Because one of the things they're going to do, and I'm probably almost as excited about this as I am the antenna, is we got the vents moved, and the vents haven't bothered all winter long, which I'm knock on wood. But anyways, we have one guide wire on this side that still is at the corner of the station and catches the snow and everything. That guide wire, in the process of raising it, will be put on a post on the other side of the walkway going to the back of the station. And with that, I'll lose the last piece of interference for that roof to clear well. And so it should help. An additional piece of it is it should help with the clearing of the snow off that roof. And then the blizzard, the dates that we had for the blizzard were, I don't remember the exact time. I think it was 7 p.m. on Monday, January 26th through maybe 5 p.m. or something like that on Thursday, the 29th. For the blizzard, I'm not real confident it's going to go anywhere. The county needed to make like $400,000 in costs, emergency costs, so I'm not real confident it's going to go anywhere. I think I talked to you guys a little bit about this one. They look for the Form 7s to be filled out and the preliminary costs almost instantly after something like this, a disaster event happens. Well, the downside is it's not too bad for fire and EMS protection or EMA, but for the plow guys and stuff, especially when they get tagged with storms right after that and stuff, they're not just in cleanup mode, and they're actually still in active response mode trying to keep the roads clear and everything. So and as a general rule, when it's blizzards and they're just stacked up like that, it's hard to get the numbers in for public works and stuff. So, and I think even if once they're all in, some of the towns with snow removal might put us over the threshold, but that's the only way, is if the snow removal one put us over the threshold. Because I think ours were at like 38 for between the roads and I.
Do you think there'd be a good chance of contiguous?
Yeah, well, it's going to depend on snow removal. Just the overtime costs and stuff, I don't think it's going to take care of it. Some towns won't get their stuff in the first place, so it can be counted. Lewiston and Auburn, I don't know if Lisbon's actually had a chance to do any snow removal, because that's the other side of it. I would assume most of the cities, I haven't been up in the cities, but I would assume most of them haven't had much of a chance to do any snow removal.
They've lost some of their lanes when I drove through the other day. Their 2 lanes are usually a lane and a half now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they haven't been able to.
Who gets to drive in the lane?
Yeah, I don't know.
I know I came down Main Street in
Interesting.
Lisbon Falls today, and it didn't look like they'd done any snow removal since that storm. So snow removal is one of the big things that usually does help putting us over the threshold. So I don't know if it's gonna be funded or not. It'd be good. But, that's it for what I had for you guys.
Massachusetts is melting theirs, huh?
It's what?
They're melting theirs.
Some of
You
Yeah.
see it on the news, they got the big hoppers and you got a place to put it, so they're trying to melt it.
Yep.
Let it run down the drains.
Understandable that
Oh, yeah.
they can't put all the cars in as it is, so.
Yeah. Well, I think we used to get this kind of snow back when I was a kid, but it used to be stretched out from October until it didn't come all in 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Not for the chief, but it did make me
Mm-hmm.
raise a question about whether or not we need to look at our grant match.
There's 17,000 in it right now, so we'll be taking almost half of it with this,
Right.
with this one.
And I don't know how that, you know,
That-
if periodically in
We
the
have to
budget
put it
there's.
in,
there
we have to
you
put
just
it in an
some-
article for it, yeah.
Yeah, just,
And we haven't, we've been depleting it. We haven't actually put an article in for several years. And so it's down to 17, so this will bring it down to 9,000 roughly. And
I'm not necessarily advocating that we put such an article in this year, but it's just something that we should
Yes.
keep an eye on.
yes, definitely, because that made me think of it too.
I know the chief works really hard at applying for all these grants, and it would be terrible if he got a great grant approval and we didn't have the funds for the match. So,
Trying to remember, the only one I do have out there, which it's still out there, and so I'm assuming it's made it through the approval process, but once again, we've gotta score high enough and the funds have to last. I'd assume we scored high enough, but the funds have to last long enough, was the Fire Act grant. Off the top of my head, I think that was about 90,000, and that's a 5% local match.
4,500.
Local match on that, yeah, 4,500.
I mean, that is something, do we, I mean, that would bring it down to about 4,500 left for the whole year here. Do we look to put something more in this year or no? I know it's, yeah, I know.
can't
It,
advocate for adding it anymore.
The thing
The other
is,
thing I'd throw out there is on my end, I wouldn't necessarily, it'd be great if that got funded, but we tend to lately come right at that threshold where we're at the last minute getting our Dear John letter and stuff. So it, be great to get funded, but I'm giving it no better than a 50-50 chance that we do.
Alrighty, anything else we need to do? I see you put in 2 real estate executive sessions. What time did you tell them? 7:30?
I haven't talked to them for a couple of
You
weeks,
haven't
so.
talked to them, so.
recess?
You wanna do
So do we
recess
know if they're even
till
coming?
7:30 or, and see if they show up. If they don't show up by 7:30, we can adjourn. Okay, I move we recess until 7:30.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Said 7:15.
Well,
I-
we've told them before
Yes.
7:30,
I
so.
sent you some MP3s.
I've got the itch, I've got the itch.
All right,
Can't guarantee anything, but.
I hear you.
Who seconded that?
I believe Mark